Here are a bunch of questions that we're looking into. The first one is to calculate the average wage of all observations. So before doing that, I would like to introduce you one thing, which is to count it. Say count. Let's just count them all. So there are 526 observations. So please bear in mind that the first row was occupied by the labels, right? So if you were to go down, that means the last observation should be observation 527. Let's see. It's exactly here. Okay. So it is from A1 to A527. A2, I'm sorry. From A2 to A527. So here we have a range. So previously what we did here was to count. Okay. After doing this count, then we can do the calculation. The calculation is of all what? Of all wages, wage of all observations. Wage is your column A. So it's A from 2 to A527. You can double check by dragging down. Everything is included. Or if you want, you can do this average of the entire row, entire column. Should have the same result. But I prefer this way, because later on, if I were to do other column, I can just directly copy and paste. Okay, and here the this 2 dots mark means 2 from A2 to A527. Okay, so that's the first one. And then the second one, what is the variance and standard deviation of the result? So this is average wage. Okay. Variance of wage and standard deviation of wage. So for variance of wage, we just use variance of the sample. This is a sample, so we are using S.S. That means the sample. Okay, from A2 to A527. Okay, and with that calculated, the first thing that you can do to find the standard deviation is square root of variance. And also you should get the same result if you use standard deviation of the sample. Again, from A2 to A527. Should give you the same result. Right? And then what to follow is to calculate the average of merit. Okay, so average of merit. So we just do average of merit, that's G2 to G527, which is this. So what does this mean? So here it's asked to interpret this. So here, if you see, say if there is one merit and there is one unmarried people, what's the average? The average should be 1 plus 0 divided by 2, which is 25, which is 0.5, right? So in that, there is one married, one unmarried, right? And the percentage of married out of the entire sample is 50%. So that's what the result is. So here, 60.8%, that is the proportion of married observations among the sample, the entire sample. So in general, this is what the average of a binary mean. So for a binary variable like this, right, the average of this is the proportion of the case when this binary equal to 1, in this case when it is married, right, of the entire sample. The proportion of married, that's when this value equal to 1 for G, right, out of the entire sample, out of the entire 526 people. So actually you can make the estimation how many people are married. Say number of married people. How do we do that? That is just the total observation multiplied by the amount married, which is 320. All right. So that's the binary, average of binary. Then what is the average wage of man? So average wage of man, there are two ways to do it. The first way is to sort it, right? So previously we sorted here. Let's first calculate by the sorting method. So here, starting from here, that's female equal to 0, that's male. Okay. So let's do average wage of man. Okay. So that is average of wage, which is column 1, for any observation with the value for F equal to 0, starting from here to the very bottom, which is 527. I close right here. Okay, here let's remember the result, 7.11. 711. That's easy to remember. Okay, it's actually 712. So let's do the calculation. So the calculation, the overall calculation using ifs add-on, okay, that can keep your result in a decent shape. Average wage of man. Okay, so here that is average ifs. So first you need to specify which one you're averaging on, right? And then you're specifying what is your standard. And here the criteria is the value for column F should equal to 0 so that this observation is met. That's 711 as well. Then for average wage of woman or female, that's the opposite, which is the same function. So here, a lot of times you can just directly copy and paste the function and then make minor adjustment if the difference is small. Okay, so that is average wage of female in this case.